Smith's books. He's in bad health right now, and I don't know how much longer he's going to be with us. But if you have not read that book, you need to do that. That's an assignment from me to you. Go check that out in your library and read Land and Remember. Also some other great books of this, Forever Island, Alabama, Angel City, and it goes on and on. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, she was not from Florida. I think she was from New York or somewhere. She came down here and fell in love with the Everglades and did her damnedest to save it. Pretty well, did a pretty good job on it. Yeah, she was nominated for it. And Marjorie Kennan Rawlings, who wrote those great books about Florida. She was from New York. She wasn't from here. So if you're up in Mountain, Montana, you got a leg up on all that. So you need to keep at it, girl. I really encourage you. You're on your way. Some people figure out what they're going to play when they go on stage to do a set. I have no earthly idea. I kind of just open the guitar on stage too, and half the time I use it more as a prop than anything else. When I'm getting up at my age, I can't play it, that well anyway. But I grew up in music. I don't ever remember learning to get when I had my first guitar. I don't know. It was there. And my family did gospel music and all. And I started writing at a pretty young age. I went off to, ran away from home when I was 16. And we started playing rock and roll. And my daddy caught up with me. We made it as far as Jacksonville. And he got us a boarding house we were staying in. And there were several different clubs around that area, that the teenagers would go to. And we were doing pretty good. And my daddy caught up with me and made me go join the Army. And it was either do that or go back home and plow that horse and mule and stuff. And I never did care for that. Now this song I'm going to attempt to do here, if you call it a song, is for want of a better style of music, I guess. I just call this kind of junk cracker rap. Now, I don't know how many of y'all are from Florida. Did I see a show of hands here? Oh, there's not very many of you who are really from here. Well, let me just say this to you. This song is not about you. Don't be offended by it, because I'm telling you what, the person this song was written about would not be here tonight at this place, at this event. He would not be here. But I will bet somewhere, every one of you in this house knows this man or somebody just like him. I call it a cracker's worst nightmare. Our population is growing too fast. I think that's a mistake. Some of the people who are moving here are a little bit hard to take. Some of them are so that blame smart, or at least they think so. But where they learn so doggone much, well, I'll never know. But they know all about this place and everything is wrong. They can straighten the whole mess out, and it wouldn't take them long. Well, they'd have to show us how to drive, what flowers and trees to grow, because the crackers are all a bunch of idiots. That's why we talk so slow. Now, they know for a fact every cracker is a bigot and a fool, while all of us are illiterate. No cracker's ever been to school. Well, we talk against development. What more proof do you need? But that's what happens when fools like us are allowed to interbreed. Yeah, the cracker is to be pitied, but they're here to help us out. They're going to do their best to show us what Florida is all about. Now, when I hear this, it makes me want to get a rope and have a lynch. But when they start start thinking. Just choke about it. Yeah, it scares me to think what would happen if they could have their way. Oh, sometimes I can't believe what I hear these people say. Yeah, this wildlife is a serious threat, there's no denying that. If something isn't done, it'll take over our habitat. All these crackers just don't understand how vicious these animals are. These armadillos will run out the road and try to attack your car. And they're getting so bold you never know where one of them might be. Squirrel was in our neighbor's yard, right there in his tree. And the other night we were sitting around down with a condo booth when this green hideous thing jumped right up on my footstool. When that dumb tractor maintenance man finally heard our screams, he identified it as a tree frog. It still gives me bad dreams. Oh, our women and children will never be safe with these things lurking around. Now maybe an environmentalist say poison could be found. And these swamps will have to be filled in. That's the only thing to do. They're a harbor in that wildlife, that dreaded tree frog too. Oh, it takes some work, but before too long, these woods could all be cleared. Condominiums from coast to coast where friends can move down here. When they start this song, it makes my whole body start to shake. I can just imagine what'll happen if they ever see a rattlesnake. But what puzzles me is why they ever moved down here. You would think they'd find them a safer place to spend their retirement years. Especially with them so smart, they must have PhDs. But I guess you got to be smart to work in a northern factory. But the more I think about it, well, the better I can understand why they think the cracker is the dumbest form of man. But we are not as puzzled and confused as we appear. Talking to them, our minds fade out, their mouths drop out of gear. Oh, I'll admit, I get tongue-tied. You'd think I was under spell. Because the only thing I can think about is I don't know where it is you come from, but I sure know where you can go. Please don't take offense to that if you're not from here. I didn't write that about you. Believe me.
I'll tell you what, this kind of takes me back. Because all of a sudden I had a small epiphany when I was up here. And
that's dangerous.
No, that's dangerous. Yeah. Anyway, I remember the first time I saw Frank was about 35 years ago. I went up with a fellow named Dick Charlson to tape the Florida radio show, which was on WMNF and syndicated.
Songs of Florida.
Songs of Florida. And I went up there. It come my turn. I sat down in front of Frank and went, oh my God, I'm playing for Frank Thomas. Somehow I gulped it through and muddled through. I was able to, that was my first year of White Springs. Now there's a whole bunch of water been over that dam.
Yes, sir.
And you know, Frank, all of a sudden, I set this thing on along with my lovely wife Betsy for war. And I'm kind of taken aback because, oh my God, I'm on stage with Frank Thomas. Anyway, there's one that I did, you know, because my daughter called me and she says, you know, World War III jokes, what will we be fighting with in World War IV? I said, I don't know what. She says, sticks and stones. And it just kind of wouldn't leave me alone. I went to bed and I kept on rapping, kept on tossing and turning, and I woke up, got on the computer, and this, I call this spaceship Earth 3000. The wars have all been won. The human race survived after almost being undone. But on spaceship Earth 3000, just look at what we've lost. For deceiving Mother Nature, now our children pay the cost. And manatees are history, and birds no longer sing, and we make our air and water, and earth's lost all her green, and we try to teach our children the way it used to be. And people come from miles to see the last remaining tree. On spaceship Earth 3000, there are those very few with a tapestry of stories about the earth that they once knew. And as the people gather, those few that have survived fight a never-ending battle to keep their heritage alive. And manatees are history, and birds no longer sing, and we make our air and water, and earth's lost all her green, and we try to teach the children the way it used to be. And people come from miles to see the last remaining tree. I felt her gentle shaking. She was asking me what's wrong. And I recall my nightmare and I put it into song. We better wake up from this daydream. We better take the wheel. Or our nightmares of planet Earth too soon may become real. Will manatees be history? Will birds no longer sing? Will we make our air and water? Will earth lose all her green? Will we try to teach our children the way it used to be? Will people come from miles to see the last remaining tree?
Syndicated on NPR all over the country. And Jay was a guest on the show early on, early years. And when he got to the studio, we taped most of them out in our backyard in Polk County. But this was before that. So we were taping at the studio there in Tampa, and Jay had pulled up and was in the parking lot. I could tell he was real nervous. So I went over and I was trying to calm him down.
Well, real comfort.
I said, now Jay, we're going to be in there, and there won't be nobody there. You and me and Ann, and the producer's going to be right across the glass there. Don't you even let it enter your mind about the 700,000 people who are going to be listening. He nearly fainted dead away right there. And I should not have said it. I would not have said it if you know, that's just cracker wisdom.
I'll be sitting there out there, but you couldn't think, hear my teeth chattering in the background.
You did a great job, though.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Frank's been the great teacher, great taskmaster for all of us neophyte folk things in Florida. He's last of the big group that was going around when I first started in here with Jim Ballou, Campbell Rogers, Bill McLean, Don Grooms. All of them have gone now, and everybody. So ain't much left, but me and Frank Lee and a few others are coming up now. The Blue Cross, you know, is real promising. Like he said, a lot of good songwriters that love Florida and have to be from here. We've got everyone loves it.
A lot of new writers that love Florida, like Carla Bach.
Yeah. Here's a song about a cracker rascal. Gamble Riders. He's been an inspiration of mine. I saw him several times. This particular song is written about the Blue Champion Memorial Folk Festival at Pine Castle in Orlando area in 1988, March and May. This is called That Cracker Rascal. Fancy finger picking. His outrageous tales, that cracker rascal really knew how to chase your blues away. It acted those hard and anxious crowds, thoroughly amazed us all, till it was hard not to believe in a brand new brighter day. Well, you know his eyes might go a little wild. He started acting about half crazy. He'd be that dynamite type of promocord to board lightning. And his long, silken fingers would dance across those silver strings. I'm here to tell you, folks, it's virtuosity, flat out frightening. You know, he would perambulate all up and down that stage, arms just a flailing in the air in that range of whatever in New York. Like a country preacher gone plumb mad, caught up in a self-righteous rage, and he would nail his gap jaw to accused and had no choice. And through a carefully premeditated pause, we would wait, you know, we'd always wait, and he would casually announce those twinkling eyes and that cracker smile, that the good Lord gave him grace, but the devil gave him style. I had just a little bit of that magic that he had, and only some of that power behind my word. When it comes time for me to leave this place, at least I know that I have been hurt. He's taught me how to stack my chips back down in the middle of the table, proudly walk that thin line between my love and my dream. Takes a lot of courage and skill to pull that off, just a little too hard for most of us, it seems. And there's that day in 1988. No, I never will forget. There must have been 100 or so of us standing out there in the pouring rain. I never seen him so inspired as he was that afternoon. We were soaked and chilled to the bone, and we felt no pain. There was Agamemnon Jones, still Bill, I drove Proudfoot, all the hell's bells, even this new latest Singletary. You know, he made all the Snipes Ford and Bean Creek come alive for us that day. We all knew we just seen something profound and extraordinary. Now I've got the guitar interlude. That fateful day, Flagler Beach, saw a man about to drown. You know he only did what a true gentleman would certainly have to do. And that man, great Atlantic Ocean swallowed down our beloved sacred clown. And Mr. Gamble Rogers' tour down here on Earth was through. Well, do we just blast through here like a cosmic cannonball? Do we just flash and then we fly? Well, I'd like to live the rest of my days the way he on the stage that day, full tilt until the day I die. If I had just a little bit of that magic that he had, and only some of that power behind my word. When it comes time for me to unplug and leave life's stage, at least I know that I have been hurt. taught us how to stack our chips smack dab in the middle of the table, trying to walk that thin line between our love and our dream. Takes a lot of skill and courage to pull that off, just a little too hard for most of us it seems. Takes a lot of grit and skill to pull that off, just a little too hard for most of us it seems.
Wonderful stories and tales that come out of that place. It's amazing. You know, when I first moved to Florida, I could not wait to get my feet in that Withlacoochee River because I love to explore and I love adventure. And Sandra here was one of the first people to take me on a kayak trip and show me all the birds and the wading birds of Florida. We went down the Rainbow River, and that was just a wonderful experience. And Sandra has such great knowledge of Florida birds. And so I wrote this song about Turner Camp. It was one of the first Florida songs I actually wrote. And it was the river, the beauty of the river and the people that inspired this song. Because once you get your feet in that water and you start breathing in the air and you get the feel of the earth under your feet, it makes you a part of your new home. Up in the cypress, the morning birds sing. Over the rocks, there's a crystal blue spring. Back in the swamp, where the cowlies grow, the sweet spring waters run clear and cold. Living on the river is nice and easy. People on the river just take their time. The wind in the sun is warm.